Hey everyone, some of you have probably seen Tyler Rivera, and so have I, to be honest. Because there are certain videos that are so out there that it's impossible to not click on it and see what it is. Most of the time, it will be a coin flip, whether the city he went to was actually as it seemed in the title and thumbnail, or if he exaggerated quite a bit to make it pop more. On the other hand, another popular channel, somewhat similar to him, is Soft White Underbelly, who you definitely know from the Whittaker family videos. If you don't, I highly recommend seeing them, because they're one of those groups of people that seem like you never imagined coming across them. But the reason I bring them up together is because Tyler went to the part of Virginia where their family lives, so I wanted to take a quick second to go and interview them, where he asked what Mark from Soft White Underbelly was doing with the GoFundMe he set up for them to buy them a house. Which, from there, it avalanched to a huge drama, with them saying they never even received a bit of money from him. Which, although might sound like it's true, I do have to admit that it does go deeper than that.
This video started a massive YouTube feud between channels that have racked in billions of views and ended up turning a large portion of one of their audiences against them. And the main part of this feud revolves around some GoFundMes that raised over $100,000 for a family in West Virginia. Because as we just found out, there is no money left. Okay, so how did we get here? Well, it all starts.
Don't tell me for the Whittakers to like help them out of the backwater hick house and I was stolen. Oh, that's just sad.
You may remember I covered in a video about a year ago when he accidentally caught YouTube's largest plagiarizer, Brent Rivera, in action at some haunted hotel. Then I guess what was supposed to be some haunted challenge video turned into an investigating a fake prankster video. And after this video,
how do you go from like investigating cities where drugs are legal to that?
So he essentially shows up to an interesting spot, investigates, and makes some entertainment around it. But before we get into the details,
I just want to say this now. Decent videos. I've seen one of his videos before on the channel. I hate the fact that he uses the same Photoshop model of picture. Like, okay, just 2 pictures? No, there's one more. See, three in a row. Can't be that hard to just take a new photo shoot for every video.
So on March 3rd, 2024, Tyler uploads this video titled, "I investigated the poorest region of America." This video is about him investigating life in the Appalachians, specifically in the West Virginian part of them. And that area can get depressing real quick. I drive a lot through it because I frequent Snowshoe Mountain in West Virginia. And there's a clear lack of jobs, resulting in some extreme poverty. Going into this region is like,
you know, fair enough. Most of the time he like clickbaits the thumbnail and title, but if it is actually poor, you know. But how the poorest, really?
Tyler's video is him showing how things really are there. But the controversial part of this video started after those 19 minutes, where he goes to Onn, West Virginia to meet a somewhat famous inbred family on the internet known as the Whittakers. The channel that made them known to the world is Soft White Underbelly, who's ran by Mark.
Might be wondering why I've driven all across West Virginia to meet these people. A couple of years ago, I saw this video on YouTube.
There's no way any town that has the Whittakers family as part of them can be depressing. I refuse to believe.
Interaction with a family suffering a long history of inbreeding.
Do you remember anything about your life?
No, I'd love to say.
And you lost your other brother.
You guys know how that Somali pirate in Saving Captain Phillips, that was the one. You guys know how that Somali pirate got like hired because he was actually a Somali pirate, and then after he got famous in Hollywood, he made that as his job. I want that, but with his family. I see a lot of talent in them.
Intrigued, I reached out to Mark Laida to see if he could introduce me to them, and he responded with this. Hi, Tyler. Soft White Underbelly has an exclusive contract with the Whittaker family for all content creation. We're also currently in talks about a television series with a broadcast network. Thank you so much for thinking of us. Noel.
That can't be real.
Underbelly.
So I guess Tyler started.
That cannot be real. There's no way. I joked about that Somali pirate thing, whatever. There's no way he sees that much potential to make a show out of them. No way. He made a lot of videos of people like this, where like they have a sad life, but an entire show and a contract. How do they sign? Does that barking guy just like put bark as his signature?
I could easily do that. I try to resist doing that. You know, because you know, people like I see the comments sometimes. Oh, you're just exploiting these people.
Now, assuming this contract even exists, it immediately raises a red flag when you consider that Mark has made 13 videos with the Whittakers with a combined total of 89.13 million views. In every
to be fair, there's not a lot of like inbred families, but these there are inbred, of course, but there's only one Whittaker family, and you can't replace them.
Dollars raised thus far, in addition to a previous 2022 GoFundMe that generated 12 $100,000 for a new house. And for those preferring
I don't
other
think we're
ways
the
to
house.
donate, you can also PayPal or Cash App Mark Laida directly. With $77K and however much else was sent to Mark directly, there's another GoFundMe to help the over 7,000 people who have been interviewed for the Soft White Underbelly channel, with $48,000 total raised on it right now. Who gets
God.
any of this money and how is it divided, we'll never know.
So what I'm
And he
interested in
has like
here
50
is, did Tyler
videos.
record this
Even
before
$1,000 for each
he
one
talked
would be
to the Whittakers
decent.
or before?
They do just spend on
Either
drugs
way,
and alcohol, to be fair.
First, Tyler hears a no that they're actually signed to the Soft White Underbelly. So then when he's suddenly welcome to come visit, I can see why he had questions about the money, as the guy had raised money but provided zero update on where the money is, / if it's still going to a house for them. Because
Yeah, I was about to say, I refuse to believe he has a constant stream of money going into them.
more jabs.
With a minimum of 77.
Also, if if they're on a contract, right, surely they have some benefit as opposed to just, you know, I guess by morally having to stay through software underbelly. Because for all they know, he could be lying about having a TV show. Or they could just be like, one day we'll have our own TV show and we'll be beautiful on television. Plus, if he really wants to give money, he'll let anyone come and record them and open their own GoFundMe. It would make more sense to like have a short video or a short segment there at the end to be like, okay, this family, this is how bad they are. I'm gonna go open a GoFundMe so you can support them, as opposed to just like opening one out of nowhere where it has no attention to it and people will not donate any money to it because they don't even know about it.
To however much was sent to Mark directly via Cash App and PayPal, and however much money generated from, let's say, just the first video he made with the Whittakers, an extremely conservative estimate of $82,000, assuming a $2 RPM, we have a minimum of $159,000 in the home fund here. And there just so happens
In West Virginia, that would be an actual empire.
West Virginia,
Oh,
where they
see?
live, currently listed for $139,000. So why don't they have a new house?
Remember I asked if he recorded this before or after visiting the house? Because to me, it seems like he went in a little too hard. Maybe out of frustration after seeing the conditions the Whittakers were living in. Because there's
To be fair, that email was so hot-headed, I would be pissed off as well.
But Tyler goes to visit them, and it seems like they live in a trailer home that's falling apart. So he asks about
Excuse
the
me?
house Soft White Underbelly was raising money
That
for.
house, if they leave it, or they all die, I'm not putting bad energy, you know, I'm not jinxing it, but when they die, they should like preserve their house as like a landmark.
Do you think he's
Well, we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
okay?
I know we killed her.
Is the guy in the middle cosplaying as Christian? It looks really similar. There's no he knows about it, but still.
No.
Okay. When's the last time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay.
Okay, so at least they've kept in contact. Apparently there's no more money. And that money
Would be funny if like he bought like a nice iPhone 14, to call him every day and FaceTime them.
money. And then I guess he challenged Soft White Underbelly to combine the funds and give it to the Whittakers.
I started a GoFundMe linked in this video's description and
Yes, he
donated
did.
$10,000 of my own money. If you feel moved by these innocent souls and want to help them live their elderly years in peace, feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMes, and let's get the Whittakers a new house for reals.
No, I don't think I will.
Nicer way. So as you can guess, Mark wasn't too happy about Tyler attacking his honor without hard proof. But it seemed like the Soft White Underbelly team did lie when it came to the exclusive contract. And as
To
we
be
previously
fair,
stated, Mark
if
must
the only they are the only witness, that family in that house, but it is hard to take word for them. No, I'd still believe them though. If they don't have money, they don't have a house, you know.
His most
1
popular
plus
series on
1.
the channel has been on the Whittakers. And he just dropped a response video to Tyler titled, Whittakers GoFundMe, the problem with social media.
This GoFundMe that I've had for years, since I've been interviewing the
Years?
has generated.
I thought it was like up for a week or two. If it was up for years, it would definitely hit the goal way sooner.
Their living expenses, and then like end of last year we changed it to we started a new GoFundMe, and I tried to start a new one so it would look like this is how much money we're going to get for the house. And as we accumulated money for that, I was thinking, hey, we're getting closer to our goal. But the problem has been that Betty and Larry will call me every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and say, hey, we need money for a car. Larry wrecked his car. We need a new car. We need food. We need this. We need that. It's always an emergency, and they need money. And it is their money, that this money is, all these donations are for the Whittakers. And when they tell me they need money, what am I going to say? No, you can't have it. We're saving it for a house. So I give them the money. Sometimes it's $5,000, sometimes it's $4,000, sometimes it's 6, or one time it was 14, sometimes it's 3 or 2,
14, huh?
but it adds up.
If it's 14, then probably something they don't need urgently.
More money. And I wire transfer it to Betty. I'll show you a screenshot of my bank account and all the wire transfers that I sent to Betty. These are all going from my account to Betty Whittaker's account at the, I think, Chase Bank, I think it is in Beckley, West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't think this is a situation that either of these YouTubers are ready to handle, as there's now been $100,000 being sent to this family in a little over a year, and they still live like that.
Money that's in these.
Yeah, at that point, it would be fair to just like say no and be like, oh, just wait a little bit longer, God damn it. I'll get you the house.
You look at the GoFundMe, it's generating money.
Also, what did they do apart from him to make money? Because they were still alive and getting food before he came up.
They took out 14, they took out 3, and it keeps it low. It's 0 right now. It's been 0 for a few months. Larry and Betty have called me, asked me for money. I've given it to them out of my own personal bank account, not out of their GoFundMe donations, because I like helping the family. But without the ability to stop spending and start saving, we're never going to get close to that house.
Yeah, this is rough. But I mean, if you're raising money for a house, it should be going to the house. Unless the GoFundMe says they're raising money for an emergency fund. But I completely see how draining this can be for Mark.
I feel like you should interrogate them more like, do you really need this urgently?
But then other things apparently complicated the house project.
When the house came up also, I think they brought up a house that was across the street from them.
Right next door.
Yeah, and when we looked it up, it was over 200,000. So we knew.
My God.
I don't think they want to leave their neighborhood.
Right.
So they like the house next door. It's a nice house. It's expensive for the neighborhood, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's hard to help people who make it hard to help them. But then he addressed Tyler.
This is about this video that Tyler Oliveira.
At this point, I want to see if he did make the contract. I mean, he's an email, so he did.
On social media, they create these like scandal stories. They're not factual.
It's misinformation.
They're misinformation. They're making up facts to create a scandal. Like, wouldn't it be juicy if Soft White Underbelly was collecting GoFundMe donations and not, he was keeping the money? Ooh, that'd be a really...
He does have the energy of like not faking, but like clickbaiting thumbnails, but I want to say you go that far to make a scandal.
I don't want to give out the contact info of everybody I interview. You know, how many requests for the Whittaker contact info did we get back then?
So many. It would have ruined their life if all the people got their.
Yeah, so we have to figure out a way to keep everybody from just going to the house and it becoming like a problem for them.
Yeah.
So I made up excuses why I'm not going to give out the contact information.
Okay, so he just admitted to lying to Tyler here. Going back in time, in hindsight, it would just be better to not respond to Tyler. And with hindsight as well, if he just kept the GoFundMe updated on where the money was going.
Yeah, that whole TV show contract was probably the weirdest lie. Do not contact them.
He's just one of many that create these scandalous stories, and it's like, ooh, he could have easily contacted me. He said, hey, Mark, my name's Tyler. I'm doing a video on the Whittakers or on the GoFundMe. Tell me what's going on with that. And I would have said, yeah, I give them money at least once or twice a month, sometimes 5,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. And it adds up. And it's depleting the reserve of money that we're trying to build for the house. So now it's basically right around 0, and we wait for more donations, and then I give them the money.
You know, at least in his defense, slightly, it would make sense why it was up for years. No matter how much passion you have for a GoFundMe, if you're taking money out of it every once in a while, it will not reach its goal.
Pay the taxes, and everything else goes to them. That's always been the case with my channel's general GoFundMe as well as the Whittakers GoFundMe.
Yeah, again, so if he would have updated the GoFundMe earlier, Tyler wouldn't have had a story at all. Because the Whittakers didn't notify Tyler about this when Tyler was there. They just said they didn't know where the money was.
Yeah, it's just freedom of speech and the internet to combined are dangerous. But that's the world we have now. So people are getting used to it, and they know, oh, this is just a hater or it's BS. And I think a lot of people smell BS when they see this kind of stuff. But some people don't know my reputation. They don't know who I am. And they'll hear a story like this and think, yeah, he's a scammer. He's a con artist. He's keeping the money for the GoFundMe. And I'm sure there's people that are going to believe it, even though I'm showing you the proof in this video. that's just the nature of human beings, I think.
Okay, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like freedom of speech on the internet definitely has way more benefits than negatives. And clearly,
Yeah,
Mark
sure.
isn't a scammer. This dude has helped his family out more than anyone. Because I can only assume $100,000 over the span of a year has changed the lives of this family. Like, the only thing Mark is guilty for is not updating the GoFundMe and, I guess, lying about the contract he had with the family.
Look at the Whittakers' lives. Their lives are so much
So you
better since I
didn't,
came.
yeah, alright.
Their lives have improved greatly.
Yeah, which
since I
space I should like not talk to him or respond to the email at all.
I'm helpful, and when they needed help, I came through for them every single time. The fact that Betty comes on stood in front of him, his cameras, and said, when he asked what happened with the money, she goes, I don't know. Come on. Betty knows exactly where that money went.
As it was said earlier, you can't really trust her when she's clearly like, you know, she's got an issue, so you can't take every word she says, you know, as 100% true, or at least like what she perceives.
West Virginia. How can you spend so much money like this? And she goes, I need it. And it's her money, so I give it to her.
I still feel like there should be some responsibility when you decide to raise money for someone, though. Yes, I get it's the family's money.
As the sugar daddy of the Whittakers family, he should at least be like, no, I'm not giving you
Where
money.
this money is going. Like, I did a GoFundMe in 2022 for my lawsuit, as many of you guys remember. That
Oh my
GoFundMe
God.
was only for the defense of my lawsuit. As soon as that lawsuit was dropped, I refunded everyone's money, because when you raise money, the money should be going to the cause you're raising it for.
Between her and Larry.
I got lucky if I got dropped. Damn.
Of that GoFundMe, and it's down to zero now. So I'm actually gonna discontinue.
Can you even
my-
take money off the GoFundMe? I saw it was like one huge potluck where GoFundMe keeps it until you want to close it or just finish it.
for me in the world. So I just it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth after just what just happened. Like, nobody came to my defense and said, hey, Mark gives us a lot of help, a lot of money. Nobody said that.
Okay, Tyler attacked his honor.
That's another thing I realized now as well. If Tyler was the one to like make up the story of them like not receiving the money at all from the huge GoFundMe that he made, it would get more fans because he's more popular to go against him. Especially when he makes more freaking videos. If you have a bigger channel that's causing drama with someone else, it doesn't matter how like legitimate the facts are. It does a bit, but if you have way more fans attacking one side, it will just make it impossible for the other party to like make a response or at least address what they're saying. So I can see where it's coming from. Plus, he's not gonna make a video every month being like, okay, this time I gave them this much money, because he wants to at least let them know that they have money, but they're struggling a bit. So he probably felt compelled to make a response and be like, okay, what he showed in the video, what they said, it's not true. I have to actually prove it. Because he is, you know, the main leader behind the GoFundMe. So it is fully in his
Might have been
control.
to gain sympathy from Tyler to get money from him as well, or we can just blame it on them being slow. But if I was in Mark's shoes, I would definitely feel betrayed by the Whittakers here. Because raising $100,000 for someone and giving it to them and not having them mention that, I'd be upset. Because they made it
Yeah,
seem
sure,
like
yeah.
he didn't give them too much.
I'm just going to create videos. If you like them, watch them. If you don't, don't. I'm not here to, if I'm going to help somebody, I'm going to do it privately. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. This is not a helping channel.
That is, it would feel way more cocky if he was like, I gave him $250,000. Look at me. Fair enough.
People that are sitting in this chair normally. So that's what's going on. I'm sorry that this happened. A lot of people got confused and thought maybe I'm a scammer.
I would hope for this video he had the same thumbnail for every interviewee. It was like a monochromatic, looking sad.
Who's doing some irresponsible journalism decided not to get any input from me and just decided to take a story and run with it because he knew it was going to get a lot of views, which it has. I take the hit on that. My reputation gets tarnished. He makes a lot of money.
I really wouldn't say Tyler is a journalist. Maybe like a faux journalist on YouTube, but yeah, that means nothing.
Comment something terrible about how I'm evil and terrible. But that's just social media. It's frustrating, but that's the world we live in.
I see why he's frustrated. Tyler definitely attacked him without being 100% sure. But it doesn't really come across to me like Tyler was trying to use this to gain views, because it wasn't in the title, it wasn't in the thumbnail, and it was in the last 7 minutes of a 30-minute video. I feel like the video would have gotten a similar amount of views either way. Obviously, this has been a draining endeavor for Mark, but he definitely made some very good money off of this series on the Whittakers, as the series totaled 80 million views. But this might have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
It was 13 videos, but still, goddamn.
I would feel very betrayed if the family didn't even mention the fact that he raised and gave them $100,000. But Tyler made a response video to his response.
Bro, you know, in her mind, because she's a bit slower, I can see her defense being like, well, he never gave me outright as a gift, because then she would see that giving money as opposed to like her asking for it. Maybe if he asked her, did you ever ask him for money, she would say, she would be truthful.
In the last 7 minutes of the video, I go to the Whittakers' house, drop off some groceries, and I ask Betty Whittaker what's going on with the house and where is the money. I'm referring to a GoFundMe set up by Mark Laida, where he raised $77,000 from the generous donations of many people watching his videos with
77,000, but how much accumulated over the years?
The title of the GoFundMe is Help the Whittakers Purchase a New Home. Now, I asked Betty what's going on with the money. She says, Mark says we've run out of money. What house? What do you mean, basically? So I uploaded this to my video, and I open-endedly asked Mark, what's going on with the GoFundMe? Where's the money? I did not accuse him of doing anything. I did not call him names. I merely asked the question I myself was curious about, and thousands of other people in Mark's own channel have asked him. And I would imagine that includes many people who have donated to the cause.
I mean, Tyler, you didn't only ask.
Feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMe.
Yeah, that does feel very, you know, like a chivalry. Like, if you have any honor, come at me.
That's a jab. That's a like I get he was probably frustrated from seeing how they live in these conditions, and then
Also, didn't you mention before, Mark, that they did buy a house? Like, it wasn't the one using the GoFundMe money, but they bought a house either way, like next door.
Which is to help buy them a new home. Which brings me to my next point. Mark uploads a video to his channel where he says he's transferred over $100,000 worth of his viewers' donations to Betty Whittaker. There is no money left in the accounts, and they would constantly ask for the money, and he would send it to them. There's no money in the GoFundMes left for a house, which was the entire goal of the GoFundMe. My problem with this is...
It would be funny if you saw like a PS5 or there like in the rummage of the house, or like a sports car.
We're actually using these to keep the Whittakers alive. When they ask for it, I send it to them. That simple. The goal of getting them this house is not real, nor will it ever materialize. And just been upfront and honest with, hey, this isn't for the house. This is just for them. If you want to donate to them, here it is. Cool. I would have had no problem with that. But that's not what he did. Any donor sending money to that GoFundMe is under the impression it is going towards the larger purchase of a home, not for random living expenses that Mark will send their way in the chunks of $4,000 to $5,000 every two weeks to a month.
I agree with this, but not the next statement.
I'm asking a very basic update question of, hey, there's a lot of people that have donated to this GoFundMe. What's going on with the money? Pure, simple, cut and dry. Didn't accuse him of being a scammer. Didn't call many names. I merely asked what was going on here.
Again, attacking his honor isn't just asking a question. Because I feel like Tyler would have looked so much better if he just asked the question. Now, if Mark replied or not, that would be up to Mark. Because there was a lot of unknown here, and it's not like one of those like blockchain project situations where you can clearly see the money is gone. In this case, the money was definitely not gone because not only did he show the receipts that he sent all the money, but he also paid the taxes on it for him, plus sent them some of his personal money.
I never
Good point, yeah. Even if it's like 10%, that's still money he has to pay for as well. He's not going to give them 900 when they ask for 1,000.
What's going on with this money? What's the update? His response to all this is interesting.
But you did attack his honor, and he was offended, and he threw some jabs back, and now Tyler is doubling down. He's now raising money for the Whittakers as well. So I guess we now have one YouTuber passing the torch of raising money for the Whittakers.
Oh, he closed it, or?
Well, weird situation that could have been completely avoided if Tyler...
Yeah, he closed it. That makes me sad.
The approach could have been a little bit more collaborative rather than offensive towards Mark as well. And Mark should have been more transparent with the GoFundMe, but Tyler is now fighting a battle that doesn't make too much sense to me. I see that Tyler wants to help, but I feel like he could have been way more collaborative with the guy who already raised the family $100,000. Mark seems to already have been fed up with the situation, and now with the addition of feeling betrayed by the Whittakers, I understand why he decided to leave it there. And Tyler has now raised $16,500 for the Whittakers. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens next, but either way, this was just another interesting internet moment. But I mean, hey, at least none of them faked an attack and reported it to the Taiwanese police like this streamer did for attention. So that's also quite the interesting story you could check out here, and I'll see you.
Oh man, that's kind of sad. If he did close it, does that mean like he refunded the money or he passed it over to him I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, he made the goal amount lower, so if he gave it to them, that would buy them like half a house as opposed to like the 200,000 he had set up before. Plus, it's probably gonna be the same situation with Mark, where they keep asking for so much money that it's in like a state of limbo where people donate into it, but they never hit the goal because it keeps on going down. And what's gonna stop someone else from like going to the house and be like, what happened to the money? I don't know. If it's like a constant cycle of people trying to like open a GoFundMe in the vein that it's gonna work, but it never does unless he gives some money as well, which both ways, it doesn't really help the issue or reach the goal of actually make the money to buy them a house. But this guy is right. If they work, together, that would help reach the goal way quicker and at least bring more attention. Even though Mark, Soft White Underbelly, made a lot of videos about him, I feel like there's nowhere near as much attention as it did when the first video blew up. Because if he's a bit older, so if Tyler went to them and made like a new GoFundMe, it would have worked really well to like combine them together, or at the very least bring up that like Mark has his own GoFundMe set up for them. And if all his fans watching the video went to that one, it would like it would at least have like a huge blow up of having way more money at bare minimum. But now if this is a new like generation of a GoFundMe for them, I really don't think it's gonna get it's not gonna get as close as like the one before, because Mark from Software Underbelly, I feel like he visited him more often. He doesn't really travel as much as Tyler, so he probably stays close to the West Virginia area to interview other people. But Tyler's been to like all over the country, like outside of Canada. I really don't feel like he's gonna stop by every once in a while to see how they are, at least keep them updated. And it's a whole issue. It's like, the main part for me is whenever they ask for money, because that really is hard. Like, do you say no to them, or do you at least try to negotiate a lower amount, or at least try to figure out what you need it for, and can it wait, or do you need it right now at the moment? Because apart from the fighting, that really is like the biggest issue, just GoFundMe, where it's always getting money out of it, so they never reach the amount. So I feel like the first GoFundMe would have had way more potential. It had potential, but it could have gotten closer to like raising more money at least.